We have brand new Warhammer 40,000 lore. It's the Tau, it's the Imperium, and it's Genestealers Cultists. It's all happening around the border of Ultramar. We've got more information about the Tau's latest new expansion, the 5th Spear expansion, and how that plays into the Tau's growing efforts now and getting more into the galaxy. So let's jump in and let's talk about it all. Now, all this information is taken from the latest White Dwarf magazine. I'm going to be going through it, reading it, and discussing it. So if you want to go out and read it for yourself, please be warned that this video is going to contain spoilers. This is your first and only warning. In the background right now, I'm just going to go over the brief introduction to explain what this Chalnath Expanse is, this Chalnath War, as I'm calling it. The Chalnath Expanse is a collection of star systems located within the Ultima Segmentum on the fringe of Imperial space. The opening of the Great Rift has isolated Imperial worlds within this region, eroding humanity's prior dominance and resulting in widespread conflict between three primary factions: the Tau Empire, the Imperial Defenders, and the cells of Genestealers Cultists. So we have three factions now fighting for dominance over these stars, over these industrial worlds, over the resources in this area. But those are not the only threats. Again, in the background, I'm going to read you one of the big statements about this. It's all about the location of Chalnath, and it also talks about the 5th Spear expansion of the Tau, but we'll get into that later on in the video as well. But for now, follow along as I read this. It says, the location of the Chalnath Expanse, deep within the Imperium Nihilus, renders communication between its worlds difficult, bordering on impossible. Deprived of aid from the wider Imperium, its human citizens can look to none to save themselves, as their faith in the God Emperor for salvation. The Tau invaders are similarly distanced from the heart of their stellar empire. A single colossal wormhole known as the Star-Tide Nexus links the territories of the 5th Spear expansion to the Tau worlds on the fringes of Damocles Gulf. Whilst two-way travel through this rift is entirely possible, the journey is arduous and fraught with danger, meaning that communication between the Nemya Atoll, as the Tau call their territories in the Chalnath Expanse, and the inner spheres is slow at best. Thus, both humans and Tau forces face a constant shortage of troops, ammunition, equipment, and resources within this war zone. The war efforts of both factions are further complicated by the presence of Genestealers Cultists embedded within human settlements, as well as a looming threat of orc aggression from nearby Fulnar Nebula. As opposing Tau and human armies scramble to seize and hold crucial worlds, these additional threats seek to exploit the unfolding conflict to their own ends. Now, the really big thing about this for me is the Tau now have a link to their empire. With this wormhole, as we're calling it, it's linking to this new expansion. Yes, it's kind of explained like warp travel now, that it's very, very slow to get there. So ammunition, troops, reinforcements are going to take their time. But the important thing is they have an anchor now. They have a place that they can go back to. They can get that support too. This could be the first step we're about to see on the Tau taking a more global step into the politics of Warhammer 40,000, going into the inner cores of the galaxy, going to places where they haven't been before, fighting and setting up new territories, all in their empire's name. It's really, really interesting stuff if you're a Tau player. It's interesting stuff if you're an Imperial player as well, because it means like maybe the Tau can pop up in the Segmentum Pacificus at some point. You can start purging them all down there and everything like that. It's really, really good. And of course, from this, the Genestealers Cultists are really taking advantage. Again, I'm going to put the image in the background as we read of it, because the Genestealers see their opportunity and they're definitely taking it. Genestealer uprisings have wrought havoc across the Chalnath Expanse in the systems of Inzanido Belt, hopefully I've said that right, and the Sat Yang frontier and the Mocular clouds of the Voronin cluster. Human settlements have fallen to rebellion and civil war. In other locations, human, Tau, and mutant hybrids have become embroiled in devastation, freeway conflicts that saw billions slain. The pyramidal, granite-wrought hives of Wild Reach, the oceanic-going settlements of Simbracanic, and the star docks of St. Selen's Mantle all remain in the grip of cult uprising. These worlds and many others have fallen into the clutches of Genestealer cults, now eagerly await and do their best to encourage the arrival of their so-called star children. Human and Tau picket fleets alike have already engaged in skirmishes with vanguard tendrils of Hive Fleet Typhon slithering out of the Pariah Nebula. Should the creeping tendrils of Tyrid Hive Fleet continue their progress into the Chalnath Expanse, they will find a bounty of biomass to feast upon. Again, it's all getting a bit crazy. You've got these mutant hybrids, which I would love to see models if Games Workshop have got the minerals to do something like that. But it's really cool that the Tau and the Imperials are fighting each other, and all in the chaos of this, the Genestealer cults are like, okay, let's take this world, let's take that world, let's sing into the stars, and now we're starting to see the true threat. The big threat is the Tyranids, it's the Hive Fleets, because if they get into this in this sector, if they manage to break through, it's game over for everyone. The Imperium, the Tau, every living thing is going to be consumed and put into biomass, and it's going to cause bigger problems for everyone involved. So the true threat is the Genestealers, but the Tau and the Imperium can't see that. Hopefully they come to terms with that and they start purging the correct enemy. And then you have the Astra Ministorum getting involved in all this. Again, image in the background as you read through this, it says War of the Faith, cult adrift in the Imperium Nihilus, the imperial worlds of the Chalnath Expanse have been forced to stand alone against the Tau conquerors and heretical Xenos cultists. In the face of such terror, faith alone provides succor. Adeptus Ministorum strongholds and the Adeptus Sororitas sanctuaries have become beacons of light in an ocean of darkness. Tales of suffering, sacrifice, and martyrdom abound, inspiring others to fight on defiantly. Beyond the scant illumination provided by the beacons, however, heresy, piracy, and rebellion run rampant, swayed by honeyed words of the Tau Ethereals and their creed of the greater good. Human worlds, from the Sylvata to the Cardanium, and even prosperous hive worlds as Tritanium, have thrown in their lot with the aliens. Sisters of the Order of the Sacred Rose and our martyred lady, who lead resistance in the Zendo Belt, are resolved to purge these traitors and eliminate the cursed ethereals wherever they can be found. Despite diplomatic efforts, yeah, because that always works, despite diplomatic efforts of the ethereals and the Tau Watercast, however, the vast majority of humans remain unswayed by promises of peace and unity. Good on you. Instead, they remain steadfast, devoted to their god Emperor, and seemingly determined to die in his name. The Tau find the wasteful tactics and insane zealotry demonstrated by the humans to be the anathema, I can't even say that word, sorry, to the greater good, the philosophy upon which their entire society is based. What more, they are at a loss to explain the unnatural and inexplainable occurrences reported by their troops. Some tell of human priests shrugging off seemingly fatal wounds, others of entire squads of fire warriors being engulfed by a fiery gaze of power-armored foes, or of winged human combatants wreathed in a blinding golden light. Winged combatants. That could be Tempestus Scions with jump packs. Who knows? To the Imperial defenders, such instances warrant no explanation. They are simply irrefutable evidence of the God Emperor's omnipresent divinity. And this is something that we've been talking about for a while now. Faith in the Imperium, faith in the Emperor, the God Emperor now. It seems that faith is a weapon being used against the enemies of the Imperium. In the Plague Wars, it was a massive thing. I can't really go into it, too many spoilers for this video, but we're seeing it used more and more now, and statements like this are saying that the faith in the Emperor is this new weapon that can be wielded by those who think the Emperor is a god, and it does do harm. It does protect you from the Xenos, from the Heretic, from the Mutant. And I know people are going to ask me about the Death Watch. The Death Watch do get involved. I'm going to put up the statement in a minute as we read from it. I just want to say, if you want more information about the Death Watch, I'm going to do in a video tomorrow. It's mostly going to be based on agents of the Imperium and some of the questions I've had around Death Watch. There's big changes coming for Death Watch, and I personally think not all good. But again, I'll do a full video dedicated to that. Eyes in the background right now as we read this statement about the Death Watch getting involved in the Chalnath Expanse and what they're doing. It says, Jadad Nontor, hopefully I'm saying that name right. This is an Inquisitor. I'm just going to call him Jazad. Despite the nightmarish difficulties of the communication within and beyond the Chalnath Expanse, the world of the Tau incursions eventually reached Inquisitor Jadad of the Ordo Xenos. Rallying the Death Watch Space Marines of Watch Fortress Mortgard, Jazad set about combating the Xenos threat, recognizing the danger posed by the continued Tau expansion. The Inquisitor evolved to prevent the Tau from further spreading and fortifying their domain. Death Watch kill teams were dispatched to annihilate Watercast delegations, ensuring that frontier systems would not be subjected to alien diplomacy. The bulk of his forces were directed to Arajan IV, hopefully I'm saying that right, Cestus, and the Sat Yang system, and other key buffer locations that lay in the path of the Tau expansion. The unexpected emergence of Genestealer cults saw Dontor's forces repelled from Arian IV, granting temporary control to the Xenos Cultists. On Cestus, Watch Captain Seraphus, Death Watch continues to aid the planet's defense alongside battle sisters of the Order of our Martyred Lady, and 3 Astra Militarum regiments reconstituted from formations shattered during the fighting. The Tau opponents continue to launch strikes seeking to erode the planet's remaining defenses. Only on St. Holt did Dontor's Death Watch allies meet with true success, working in concert with battle sisters of the Order of our Blue Robe to drive back Tau invaders and purge hybrid cultists from the planet's primary population centers. And that basically is the start of this Chalnath stuff. There's more stuff in there about, you know, worlds fallen, about other little battles and stuff like that. But, you know, let's explain more in the actual book itself. But this is looking like a brand new narrative that is going to be happening in this White Dwarf magazine. Maybe we'll get books from this, because again, when we got the Vashtor stuff, it first appeared in a White Dwarf magazine, then it eventually got its own books, and this is where we are now today. So fingers crossed we do get some more narrative stuff happening with Warhammer 40,000. We've been talking about this for a while now. We are still in the Pariah Nexus. A lot of people have lost interest in that. We need something to do with the Tyranids. The 4th Tyrannic War, it's the biggest invasion by the Tyranids that has ever happened. This is definitely going to play into the brand new kill team rumors. If you haven't watched that video, I posted it the other day. The rumors are basically being confirmed as true. It's all happening. Tempestus, Scions, Vespids, new kill team edition. It's all happening, brothers. It's really about to go down. Hopefully, as I'm recording this video right now, it's before the Sunday announcement. I think that Games Workshop are going to announce a preview show for this month, and we're going to see that kill team box shown off there. But for now, I'm done. I'm finished. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below. I'll have a nice little chin wag down there, as we always do. See ya. Have a great day, and bye-bye.